guys, Intern Brooklyn here. As most of you know, Pastor Josh Mitchell is a huge slacker, so I'm filling in for him this week. I'm kidding. I just had to say something. Okay. Hey guys, Intern Brooklyn here. I want to encourage you as we enter into this 2-week freeze, and I know that most of us are sick of COVID-19. We're sick of talking about it, we're sick of our plans being canceled because of it, and it's all around no fun. As most of you know, intern Nick and I are coming up on our wedding day, and that's really exciting, but I can't say we ever dreamed of it happening under these circumstances. And I want to share some encouragement with you that I have been able to ground myself in during this time. It comes from Lamentations chapter 3. It says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him." I love the part in this that talks about his mercies being new every morning, that we can put our hope in him, and that he is good to those who wait. I think we have an opportunity in this time as followers of Christ to set an example and be grounded in a way that those around us don't expect. For me, the tendency is to get caught up in the roller coaster of emotions because things are changing so often and it feels different almost every day. But instead, we get the opportunity to have peace and assurance in a God who is not surprised by any of this. He's not surprised that my wedding day is going to be the way it is. He's not surprised that your schooling is going the way that it is, and he's not surprised by all these cancellations this year. He has a plan that's so much bigger and better over all of that, and we get to rest assured in that rather than riding the wave that really has a lot of fear and anxiety entangled into it. So I encourage you guys to take this opportunity and set an example for those around you, to not listen to the loud noises that surround us constantly, but rather to put your hope in God and what he has for us.
What is up, GCF family? Home groups, what's poppin'? We live direct right to your living room. This is your boy, Intern Nick, back at it again, fresh to death. Anyways, today I want to welcome you. Thank you for showing up. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We need to run those numbers up so that we can afford all the holiday ham for our own families. Anyways, a few announcements this week. Thank you very much. We're going to be having no in-person youth gathering next week, so just don't expect any of that to happen. We want you to have an amazing time with your families celebrating Thanksgiving. But be on the lookout on our YouTube channel because there's going to be some fresh turkey time content coming your way, and you're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be fresh. Also, Christmas coming soon. We got some big plans for that. So just be on the lookout. Be prepared to be awed and thrilled. It's just going to be terrific no matter what. Anyways, this week we are going to be continuing our discussion about words by talking about arguments.
No, we ain't.
Yes, we are.
No.
We totally are, Josh. What are you talking about? What do you even know about arguments? You can't even argue if you wanted to.
I'm arguing about your argument.
No, whatever. Anyways, that's just an example, but we're going to be going into arguments and how we can get through them, how we can make them productive instead of them just spiraling out into nothingness. So, get ready, strap your seatbelts on, and let's get right into it.
Hello, my name is Jacob. I'm one of the interns here. Josh called me in to play this wonderful game called Nailed It or Failed It, Fried Turkey Edition. I've personally never fried a turkey. I've actually never heard of a turkey being fried. Josh kind of described it to me. But how this game works is we'll show you a video of someone frying a turkey, and we'll see whether they nailed it or failed it. So let's get started.
You need a good steak is what I would say.
Okay, so it looks like he's putting like a huge turkey into that big vat of oil. I think he's gonna nail it. Looks good to me.
But yeah,
I'm saying,
it's real slow.
based off of the quality of the video and the little bit of smoke already coming out, I think he failed this one.
But yeah,
We'll see. I don't know what qualifies as failing
real
though.
slow.
You know, I think that qualifies as failing. This looks really dangerous. I just put my turkey in the oven.
Watch your feet.
Okay. Based off of there already being fire, I'm gonna say he failed it.
Watch your feet.
Oh, there it is. I don't know how their lawn's gonna smell like that. I feel like that pot's too small for, well, I guess it's not that big of a turkey. I think he nails this. I don't think it's gonna overflow or burn or catch on fire. And there's plenty of snow, so they'll be fine. Awesome. I'm a little skeptical because of the broom handle. It just seems like a very interesting way to go about this.
Slow. Yep. Real slow.
So we're gonna pack this bird down nice. We'll get back to you in a few minutes. What's all that noise in the background? Could that be all the kids and adults getting ready for Thanksgiving? We're gonna put our turkey pole into the hanger.
That's a coat hanger.
Do it by hand if you
I
want
feel
to,
like
and you run the risk of splatter and all that business there. So it's a two-man job. We're gonna lift her up.
I don't think this one's gonna work. I think it's gonna slide too much or something.
So you're gonna put it in a little bit.
I think this is a fail.
Job. We're gonna lift her up, and we're gonna dunk it in nice and slow. But there's still some water on it, so you're gonna put it in a little bit and feel it out as it goes in. Nice and slow. Viv, back yourself up a little bit there. Now you see it starts bubbling.
I guess
Bubbling
not.
starts coming up too much. You pull it out, but we're good. Just
Michael. Wait. We got a leg out over here.
This looks so sketchy.
Pull it up again, Michael.
I love it.
It'll be off of here.
I would be standing further back.
I
I say, you know what? Going against the odds, I'm gonna say nailed it. I hope they get this.
We got a leg out over here. I know, I see that. Pull it up again, Michael. It'll be off of here. All right.
We have twine here. You want to tie those legs together?
Michael, like
Slow.
Go slower. Oh, it's all good.
There we go.
Oh, you're a genius, by the way.
Oh,
I'm
no,
sorry.
back the rope up.
This one's hard to tell. I'm gonna say nailed it. Or not.
And so he's gonna put it in his homemade fryer over there, and we'll see how it goes. I didn't think it was a good idea. I wanted to stay inside.
He does not look confident.
See how it goes. I didn't think
I'm
it was a good idea. I
gonna
wanted
go
to
fail it.
Stay inside. So.
And then you drop the bird in. Now you need a professional coat hanger wired up to do this. You can't just use any old regular coat hanger.
This was hard. This one's really hard to tell.
You can't just
I'm
use
gonna
any old
say
regular coat hanger.
we're gonna go fail it again. I think they're gonna fail.
Pull it out.
Fine, yeah.
Well, it wasn't a. Oh, never mind. Awesome. Well, thanks for playing. Go ahead and comment below how many you got correct. And have a great rest of your night.
What was the last argument that you had? Maybe it was with a brother or sister, probably with a parent. It could have been with a friend or even a total stranger. Now, arguments are something that literally everyone has, and often. Doesn't matter how old you are, where you live, what grade you're in, or even what personality you have, everyone has arguments. We have those with the people close to us. We have them with our family and friends. We even have them with people online who we've never met. They can happen face to face, through a text message, on social, really anywhere. And the range of arguments goes from the ridiculous or silly all the way to the super serious. I mean, just think about all the possible things there are to argue about. Right? Like right now, if you were to go online, you would see that there is quite a debate about whether you should get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. People argue whether ketchup should be put on eggs, whether avocado is good at all, and when you should start listening to Christmas music, which is after Thanksgiving. I remember growing up, I have an older sister and a younger brother. Every Friday night, we would all watch a movie together as a family, and me, my brother, and my sister would constantly argue about what movie we wanted to watch. We could never decide, and usually it ended in screaming, in tears, and in someone being grounded. So, we've all had experiences arguing with others. And a lot of the times, like we've said, arguments can just be silly, right? Over things like preferences with food or clothing or games. But a lot of times, arguments can be about much more serious matters. And if you were to turn on the TV or open up your phone, you would see people arguing right now about things that seem pretty serious. Especially with COVID and everything going on in the government, people are arguing about what steps are appropriate to keep people safe. A lot of political matters people have extremely heated arguments about. When it comes to arguments, no matter what your personality is like, everyone usually wants one thing. They want to win. They want to win the argument. They want to prove that their opinion is the most logical, that their idea has the most merit, and above all, that they are right. They can't possibly see how their sibling or their parent, their friend, or the person on the other side of the screen could possibly be so wrong. So let's talk a little bit tonight about how to argue, how to win an argument, and what we should do when we find ourselves in a conversation with someone, whether that's calm or heated, and there's a disagreement and an argument. The Bible actually has some incredible advice when it comes to arguments and has some crucial wisdom that we simply can't miss when it comes to the multiple arguments that come about in our lives. Last week we talked about the power of our words and looked into the book of James for wisdom. We're going to go back today and revisit the book of James because it talks about words and also talks about arguments and gives us crucial information when it comes to how to win an argument. I want to talk a little bit about the person behind the letter of James in the New Testament. Now see, James was the half-brother of Jesus, and he grew up with Jesus as his sibling. But here's the crazy thing. He did not believe that Jesus was who he said he was, the Son of God, the Savior of all mankind, until about 30 years into Jesus' life, when he had died and risen from the dead. And although the Bible doesn't give us a lot of information about James, church history tells us that it was after he saw his brother who died before his eyes, risen again and alive at the resurrection, that he finally believed that Jesus, in fact, his brother, was who he said he was. And I just want to pause and think about what that must have been like. Now remember, his whole time growing up, as a kid, as a teenager, and as an adult, he must have absolutely thought that his brother Jesus was just crazy, out of his mind crazy. Imagine if one of your siblings claimed to be God, started gathering followers, and started doing miracles. I can only imagine the arguments that James and Jesus had growing up. The frustration that James probably had towards his brother for claiming and doing things which he probably thought were so ridiculous. And when we look into the letter that James wrote to the early Christian church, we see that it is filled with wisdom for how to follow Jesus, the Savior that James spent decades denying. Let's read some of James's wisdom from his letter. James 1:19 says this: "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." Now, at first, this may not sound so profound, but actually think about that. Be slow to speak, slow to become angry, quick to listen. These are just simply things that we don't do, especially in 2020, where you can fire back so quickly in a text or a message when it feels like you have to take a strong stance against whatever someone is saying. More and more, we are quick to get angry, quick to speak, and slow to listen. And I think that James's perspective as he writes this letter to the early church and to us today is one from his own personal life, where he sees how his life has been changed by Jesus and how our lives can be as well. Here's a quick question for you to ask yourself. When someone says something that you disagree with, no matter what it is, what is your first thought or action? Is it to think about what the other person has to say? Or before they even finished their sentence, were you already ready to fire back with why they were wrong or why your opinion or reasoning is better? Like, imagine if as a society, everyone was slow to speak, slow to get angry, and quick to listen. And forget about the whole world, but think about if just your family or just your small group, just you and your closest friends. What if we actually, before we said
a word, stopped and listened to what other people had to say? What if we didn't let ourselves get angry and respond with negativity, sarcasm, hatred? What if we were slow, deliberate, and thoughtful in the words, emojis, gifts, and other ways that we respond to others? Wouldn't that better reflect the God that we love and follow? Wouldn't we live a better life that's filled with less drama and conflict and arguments? I think so. I think that this advice is so simple because it's so effective. Even though it's difficult, it follows the life of someone who loves Jesus. And ultimately, I believe what changes people's hearts isn't well-crafted arguments, but the love of God demonstrated in words and in actions. And ultimately, the words that we speak to others pale in comparison to how they see our view than the actions that we take in our world. You never win an argument if you lose a relationship. If something happened between you and your friend and you were both arguing about who was right and who was wrong, at the end of that argument, you're no longer friends, who won? Well, nobody. If you and your sibling are arguing about what to watch on TV and it ends in screaming and throwing and the silent treatment for 3 days, even if you got to watch your show, did you win anything? If Christians online respond in all caps about all the ways that they are right, but it turns people away from the love of God, have we won anything at all? So instead of heading into every argument thinking, how do I win this argument? What if instead we thought, how do I win this relationship? How do I make sure that when my brother or sister goes to bed, they know that no matter what happened today, that I still love them? How do I let my friends know that no matter how hurt I am, I still want the best for their life? And again, oftentimes, these things simply are not possible outside of a relationship with Jesus, who forgives us and allows us to forgive others, who loves us and allows us to love others. And without the love and patience and forgiveness of God, we on our own are not able to give those things to others. So we have to first be going to Jesus for a close relationship with Him of love, forgiveness, and patience so that we can turn around and give those to others. Now, this is not easy for anyone, whether you are in 6th grade or 12th grade or a full-grown adult. Learning how to maturely, patiently, and lovingly navigate conversations is extremely difficult. In fact, I think it's something that even most full-grown adults simply have not figured out. But it is something that all of us can become better at with the wisdom in God's Word. So many of you have topics that you are passionate about, whether that's social justice and politics, or whether it's just games and movies. And that is great. God's not calling you to not have any passions or to never engage anyone in argument or conversation. But what God's wisdom does call us to is that when we have those conversations, to speak out of love, kindness, and patience. To not assume that we always have the correct answers. Remember, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. There are a few ways that you can apply godly wisdom into your life when you come up against arguments. A couple things like memorizing a Bible verse, even like James 1:19, that you use as a mantra over and over again in the middle of heated situations to remind yourself of what is most important. Also, you can pause and pray, taking a few seconds to cool down and also pray for the other person. That's right, pray for the person you're arguing with. Whether they're a sibling, parent, friend, or stranger, it can be pretty difficult to throw angry words out with someone while you're praying for them as well. And last, empathize. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. No one is ever right all of the time. And there are moments where we simply don't have a correct view or opinion. All right, the good thing about this topic is as we head into next week, there are going to be dozens of opportunities for us to use wisdom when it comes to arguments. And I pray that you will begin to look at the way we talk to others and talk with them through a different lens. That as James said, we would use our words carefully, slowly, that we'd first listen, and in all things love and follow Jesus, see others as he does, and speak about and to others with the wisdom that God gives us. And if we do this, it will change everything in our lives, in our families, friends, and even the world. And when it comes to arguments, that is how you win every single time.
Right, and that's it. This week, I want to challenge you. Since we have Thanksgiving coming up, you're going to be seeing family, whether that's in person or over the phone. If there's someone in your family that you know you don't get along with the best, or there's a little bit of a history between you, I just want to encourage you to reach out to them and just try and build a bridge. If there's something in between you, or if you've just never really had a relationship, just reach out to someone in your family that you don't really talk to, that you kind of avoid when you're at family gatherings. Because that is a very important thing that can just draw us together in these tough times. And especially on Thanksgiving, I am so grateful for my family and friends. So I hope that you are as well, and you can do something to encourage that gratefulness and increase your relationships within your family. So as you go into this week, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, as always. Ching! And I just really will be praying over you for your safety in the next few weeks as we close out the rest of this year. And we're very excited for the Christmas season coming up. But be a light in your community and have a happy Turkey time Thanksgiving.